Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and today we'll be reading Former Obese People of Reddit. What was the moment when you realized that you had to lose weight? Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more weight loss stories. I couldn't get my wisdom teeth out in the day hospital because the weight limit was 120 kg and I was 127 kg, 280 pounds. I had to wait another few days in pain to be booked into an actual hospital. I just sobbed. I was so humiliated. Still took me a while to get my bum into gear, but now I've lost 20 kg, 45 pounds, and still got the same to lose again. I honestly just really wanted to get laid. I was surrounded by attractive girls who found me repulsive and it made me feel bad. Little did I know that losing weight was merely one step in a much more elaborate existential makeover that I was about to embark on, but I'm pretty healthy these days. I had sleep apnea, which basically is a very severe snore. Not only was my snore loud as thunder, I had to use an oxygen machine every time I sleep so I don't risk to suffocate during sleep. Lost 90 pounds in the summer. Diabetes. This was a main concern for me on why I needed to lose weight. Dad was about 250 at his heaviest with type 2. I didn't want that for me, so when he died, it was the wake-up call I needed. I had been getting healthy for about 2 years before he passed, but I wasn't taking it seriously until he did. Now I'm at a place where I need to lose 35 more pounds and I'll be at a healthy weight. In my mid-20s, I was watching an old Simpsons episode and found out I was heavier than Homer. Lost 100 pounds within about a year, and I've kept it off for a decade. Down 55 pounds in 2.5 months on keto. It changed when I felt uncomfortable in my own skin, and I couldn't ride the rides with the date at the fair. I've been working on dropping it. I was in a parade for marching band and I couldn't make it to the end because I legitimately couldn't breathe. I know there's the fact I have a 40-pound drum on my chest and I have lung disease with dead skin cells in my lungs, but I could do this crap last year. It kind of broke me that I couldn't do a parade. Weighed 116 kilogram, 255 pounds, and I'm 5 foot, 153 centimeters. I couldn't walk up to the mall 10 minutes away without back pain and leg pain and having to sit down. Lost 35 kg, 80 pounds so far, and can now skip out to the mall with no problem. And I'm planning a Machu Picchu hike next year. I hope to be another 20 kg, 40 pounds down by then. It is amazing the difference in movement I have. Before, I excused the pain with, oh, I have a bad back, and oh, I have shin splints, so it hurts. Lost the weight and the pain went away. When I was at the maximum pant size that we carried at my job, I was a 42 in jeans and XXL shirts. I was also at just shy of 280 pounds. I remember though realizing how much heavier I was than I'd ever been when I saw photos of me next to my girlfriend and now wife. She is 5'6" and about 126. I was 6'2" and more than double her weight. The acid reflux would wake me up in the wee hours in the morning, causing me to vomit because the acid had welled up to the point it was seeping into my lungs. I couldn't physically get up and down to do certain physical tasks. There was no single moment, because I knew for a long time that I was obese and needed to lose weight, but I genuinely didn't think I could. I have PCOS, and my doctor told me that I could only lose weight with PCOS through keto, and I try but fail every time. It turns out that you can't just eat 3,000 calories of meat and cheese and lose weight. And no one taught me about CICO. No one told me that I'd have to fix my emotional issues that linked to my food addiction in order to successfully lose and keep off weight. I started taking martial arts and I lost about 10 pounds in 3 months. That's when I realized it was possible to lose weight. I figured, I know the doctor said not to, but I'll download my FitnessPal and try it out. What's the worst that could happen? It worked. And then I thought, I bet if I started running, I'd lose even more weight. Now I'm in the overweight BMI. I'd like to lose 50 more pounds, but hey, no longer obese. I felt unwell, irritable, and tired most of the time because most things took a lot of effort. I've always been a little overweight. Keeping extra weight off has always been difficult for me, but things got ridiculous in college. One day I looked at myself and thought, what the hell happened to me? It made me realize how much I avoided my own reflection because I knew I wasn't taking care of myself. I turned into a sickly, defensive, depressed mess who was solving every little problem with food and video games. I'm still overweight today, but I have muscle tone and a waist again. Long walks are a pleasure. I appreciate and enjoy eating healthy food, and even though I don't have the body I want, I can feel proud of it. Was actually right here on Reddit. Was bouncing between posts one night and came across a post regarding epigenetics. It was either a general article or specifically about parental weight and possible effects on children's health. After reading, I was like, well, it is one thing if I do this to myself, and a completely other if I do this to someone else that doesn't have a say in the matter, since my wife and I are planning on having children in the not too distant future. I started researching right here on Reddit that same night. A few days later, started a new routine. I altered my diet, which later changed my way of eating and outlook on food, found a fitness routine that I thoroughly enjoy a month later, and changed Facebook to modify and encourage this behavior change. 13 months later, and down about 80 pounds, and in the best shape of my life, thanks in large part to that one post. I was out shopping with my partner for an event we were going to and saw this beautiful blue suit in a store window. It was exactly my style, and I pretty much fell in love with it. I thought we'd look incredible together with both of us in new gear. Went inside, asked a clerk about it, and he looks at me dubiously before getting out a tape measure. It turns out that make stops about 6 inches before my chest does. The clerk tries to soften the blow by finding other similar items, but they're all pretty ugly. I sulked for pretty much the entire day. By the end of it, I'm fed up of being fat. I'm now 21 kg lighter 7 months later, though still 15 kg to go. I'm going to get there, and I'm going to buy a new suit I can feel proud in. My situation was minor compared to most, but for what it's worth. I was a skinny kid, right up until I got a desk job upon graduation, went from 170 to 240 in a year, didn't really care. I just woke up one day, looked in the mirror after showering, and thought, WTF? No, 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 no. I quit my job and went to work at a processing plant where I knew part of the job was loading 100-pound bags into trucks, and just tried to eat a bit less junk food. I was back down to 180, old weight plus a bit of visible extra muscle in about 9 months, and I've hovered around 180 ever since. This was 3 decades ago. I figure that I'm just lucky though, and was plainly simply lazy and a pig for a little while. I feel badly for those who struggle with the battle, and I am conscious of how lucky I am. I had started a full-time office job for the first time in my life. I had always been a little bit overweight, but never medically obese. However, I didn't know what the consequences of sitting in a chair for 8 hours a day and having crisp for lunch can do to your body. I also never weighed myself. I could tell I was gaining weight by my clothes, but never really had the guts to step on the scales and face the ugly truth. The day I realized I had to lose weight was when I went for a contraceptive pill prescription. My GP weighed me and said that she cannot prescribe me a combined pill due to the fact that I am obese. I think the words stung me more than the numbers on the scale. I didn't want to be labeled as obese. That day was my first day at the gym. I started going 5 times a week and kept quite a strict diet. I tried to set myself goals and give myself little rewards. Example, if I lose X more pounds, I can have a takeaway pizza, and that worked for me. It's been almost a year since my weight loss journey started, and I am now 30 pounds lighter, much healthier, and honestly, much happier. I would like to lose another stone, which would bring me into the healthy weight range, but I've given myself until the end of the year to do so. I stepped on the scale for the first time in years and nearly broke down crying when I saw how much I actually weighed. In just over a year, I'd gone from a BMI of 20 to a BMI of 40. I suffer from binging and overeating. At that moment, I thought about my morbidly obese sister, the fact I was borderline diabetic, and miserable, honestly to the point of avoiding social situations. I started to do research online on how to control my blood sugar issues, and ended up ordering a copy of Dr. Jason Fung's book, The Obesity Code, took up intermittent fasting dieting, and lost all that weight. It was eye-opening for me just how quickly my binging and overeating can spiral out of control. My son was the reason for my weight loss. It also motivated my wife to do the same. I wanted to play with him, carry him on my shoulders and run after him anytime I could, without having to stop every 5 minutes to catch my breath. I used to be 115 kg, I've since lost 35. I've gained about 5 kg since then, and I've maintained my weight ever since. And that brings us to the featured Narwhals of the day from our subreddit. Our subreddit is a place to share pictures, ask questions, and get support on your weight loss journey. To join, just open the description below and click the top link. Click Use App, install the Reddit app, create an account, and then click Join once you're at our subreddit. We'd love to have you join us on the subreddit. Once again, the link is below. Our first featured Narwhal of the day is Rachel, and they say, exact same pair of shorts, exactly 1 year apart. Celebrate non-scale victories. A Cool Sprinkles 2 says, I lost over 20 kg. It took me 2 years because I didn't follow any diets and exercised only a bit more. I think at some point I started eating less. I've got another 20 kg to lose, but for these I'm going to do it properly with healthy and nutritious food and proper kicking butt at the gym. Hannah says, guys, I'm in my sister's jeans. Her size 4 low-rise jeans. The sister I was told, you'd be much prettier if you were her size. Gosh, I'm proud. I think my personality shines as brightly, so frig their opinions, but I'm still glad to be in the jeans. Alpaca says, same pants, different fit. I value the non-scale victories. Thanks for sharing Featured Narwhals. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more weight loss stories that help you stay on track. Thanks for watching Narwhals, and I'll see you in the next one.